In the NBA this season, I feel like we've already seen a great deal of tension, and I think as we get closer to the trade deadline, that tension is only going to continue to rise. When you're winning, everything is good. W's are the ultimate band-aid in the NBA and sports in general, but if you're not, things could get tough. When the Cleveland Cavaliers first acquired Kevin Love, it was understood what the mission was: go out and win a championship. Kevin Love sacrificed a lot to go out and get this ring. He wanted to win, and he wanted to win bad. When you compare his numbers from Cleveland to Minnesota, it's night and day, but that's the price of success sometimes. He was and still is a supremely talented basketball player, but right now, him and the Cleveland Cavaliers are on two completely different pages. And you can say they have been for some time. What if I told you this time, it started with a cryptic post to Kevin Love's IG. This post was made a day ago, and I'm going to tell you guys right now that it may be a little more cryptic than you might think. This video, we're going to be going over Kevin Love wanting out of Cleveland. But before we get into that, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, guys. You will not want to miss another D-Coop video. And that's facts. We're trying to get to 200,000 subscribers so I can go full time and bring you guys daily content. So be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. For everybody that saw my LeBron James Bronny video, let me know down in the comments below if you guys would like to see more videos like that. I've been enjoying going in depth and outlining possible scenarios for teams or players that can happen in the future. In case you guys couldn't tell, I have a pretty creative mind when it comes to this stuff. But also, you could just leave suggestions on videos you would like to see down in the comments below, and I will try to get to those. Also, guys, be sure to follow my IG handle, GLECOOP. You will not want to miss another post. Honestly, you can't make this stuff up, but this is part of the reason that I love basketball and I love producing content for you guys. Basketball is just such an unpredictable sport, and obviously I love to discuss the sport and everything that comes with it. But of course, I also don't like to see players in situations where they're uncomfortable or not enjoying themselves, as it seems that Kevin Love might be right now. I think we see it more and more where players get in environments and they're not entirely comfortable in those environments, and it affects how they play. I feel like we saw this with Brandon Ingram and some of those Los Angeles Lakers young players last year with the Lakers. Obviously, if you're on the trade block every day and you're hearing all of this news about LeBron and wanting to ship you off, and LeBron is actually doing that, and maybe not in the most respectful manner, it's going to frustrate you and you're not going to play to the best of your ability. Because at the end of the day, you're a basketball player, but you're still a human being. Yesterday, we saw Kevin Love post this picture of the Joker to Instagram. It was about as cryptic as things come. Immediately what comes to mind is Kevin Love posted this to be symbolic of what he was feeling right now in Cleveland. Now, if you don't remember, not long ago, Kevin Love signed a max deal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Absolutely broke the bank. 4 years, $120 million. Pretty much the max. Now, what this deal at the time meant for the Cleveland Cavaliers is they have a star that's going to be there despite LeBron James leaving. This asset would be a huge piece for Cleveland. To have a player of Love's caliber in the NBA is something special. It's not easy to come by somebody that plays the game like Kevin Love. Whether you want to use him as a trade piece in the future, whether you want to try to compete with him, or if you just want to keep a player around that has that winning experience to help mold the young guys that are going to be coming into the team as part of a rebuild. Regardless of what you want to do with Kevin Love, I can rationalize the signing. It makes sense to me, at least. It may not to you guys, and you could let me know if it didn't down in the comments below. But again, I'm speaking from the Cleveland Cavaliers standpoint. Now, if you look at this from Kevin Love's standpoint, I think this is somebody that had been content with winning what he won in Cleveland and may have wanted some stability. Kevin Love, when he signed that contract, seemed bought into the long-term future of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Sam Dekker even went on record and said what Kevin Love signing with the Cavs meant is that they're not folding up. Dekker said, "I know LeBron did amazing things, got them a title, 4 straight finals. I mean, no one will be able to replicate that and what he did for the city of Cleveland. But I think there's a sense of excitement now that we can see what we can compete with now. I think this showed a lot of people, again, this isn't going to be a rebuild." Well, Dekker was wrong. The Cavs are bad, and in fact, the Cavs are one of the worst teams in the entire NBA. Their team really doesn't have the most sense of direction right now, but they do have some promising players. I'm sure Love had a similar mindset to Decker when he re-signed with Cleveland, but of course, everything at the time made sense to an extent. Again, let me know down in the comments below if you guys think Kevin Love re-signing with the Cleveland Cavaliers was a mistake. Now we get back to this picture of the Joker. You see LeBron James putting laughing emojis. You see some of his old teammates putting laughing emojis also. I think this is because they can relate to what Kevin Love is going through. A lot of people believe that the Cavs have had a really bad owner that was saved by LeBron James. In Cleveland, LeBron felt lied to a lot, and I'm sure the same is going on with Kevin Love right now. He's somebody that somewhat feels betrayed by the front office and by the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. But things get so much worse. Yesterday, Shams reported that Kevin Love was fined $1,000 by the Cavs for this outburst on the bench. Kevin Love reportedly told the Cavs GM, "Go ahead, I have plenty of money," after Altman threatened to fine him last season after a similar outburst. The report is that Kevin Love reportedly told his coach that he didn't like how selfish the first unit was playing. Now, when you look at the Cavs roster, you have a team that doesn't have a lot of direction, and you have a lot of young players who like to score the basketball. At times, it flat out looks like this team is hooping at LA Fitness. That's how bad some of the games get. The most assists per game on this team is Darius Garland, who averages a whopping 3.2. Now, during this outburst, it was reported that Kevin Love was screaming in front of his teammates and front office members that there was no feel here. Now, that brings us to this next clip where things really start to heat up if they weren't scorching hot already. You see Kevin Love with the mismatch, walking his guy down into the paint, popping back out and demanding the ball. Now, what Kevin Love does here when he demands the ball, as you guys just saw, is he whips it over to his teammate in frustration, then continues to walk around the court. This is actually one of the most intense in-game frustration moments I have seen this year. And honestly, it's in line with everything that's being reported. It looks like nothing is currently being fabricated. Now, this is where Kevin Love comes in. He posts this to his IG, a picture of him and Colin Sexton being cool. He says in the caption, "A lot of non-truths are being shared, but I've learned that we live in a world where people remember accusations and not rebuttals. Let them paint whatever picture they want. Fact is, I love my teammates." Now, the first thing I noticed from this is that I don't doubt that Kevin Love has a ton of care for his teammates and that Kevin Love wants to see the Cavs playing very well together. I just think that currently Kevin Love is a frustrated basketball player. I'm interested in knowing what you guys think on this situation. I personally think Kevin Love and the Cleveland Cavaliers are in two different places right now. I don't think that they are currently what's best for each other. I think that the Cleveland Cavaliers should explore trades and try to trade Kevin Love. One spot that I would love to see Kevin Love go to is the Dallas Mavericks. I think that the Dallas Mavericks do have reason to want Kevin Love. Luka is a very polarizing point forward who has a game that is somewhat similar to that of LeBron James. Not entirely, of course, but there are similarities in the way that these two play. One of those similarities being that these two excel playing with players who can be big-time players in a spot-up shooter role. Kevin Love has done this at the highest level. He has shown you that he has what it takes. And I'm not saying Kevin Love at this point would only be a spot-up shooter, because he offers much more than that, but I also think that is what makes Kevin Love so special. I'm not sure the package that the Dallas Mavericks would be able to put together for Kevin Love, of course, though. You guys can let me know what package you guys want to see down in the comments below. Another spot that I'd love to see Kevin Love go to is the Portland Trail Blazers. Last month, it was reported that Kevin Love wanted to be traded to the Portland Trail Blazers, and that the Trail Blazers were a team that was trying to make the postseason. When you look at the roster the Portland Trail Blazers have and the age of all of its stars, it makes sense that this is a team that is trying to win right now. With the resurgence of Melo, the Portland Trail Blazers have snuck into the 8th spot in the Western Conference. This was a team not long ago playing fantastic basketball that I feel truly hasn't hit its stride yet this season. So the addition of somebody like Kevin Love could be major for them making a push inside of the playoffs if they are able to hold on to that 8th spot. I've seen a few interesting theories on this Kevin Love stuff. Somebody said that he was purposely trying to tank his trade value to stick it to the GM so he could get out at a cheap price. But somebody else had another good point. If you want out, in order to get somebody to take on your contract, you're likely going to have to play basketball at a pretty solid level. That may not be true though, because I've seen teams take on bad contracts before, especially teams that are desperate to make big moves. I want to know what you guys think about this whole situation. Be sure to click the video on the screen right now, guys. It's me going over how LeBron James is fooling you about Bronny. Be sure to subscribe. Note he's on. I'm D Coop and I'm out.